Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. Sorry, let me do a check here. All right. Sorry about that. Let me start over. Hello, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, April 15, 2021. Normally, this would be tax day, but this year it's not. I think we're postponed a month. So, the title of my video is The Bears Are Having Trouble Finding the Door. All right. So, since we've broken out basically above 39.72 in the ES and started coming up, if you look at that little pullback that we had before then, that was on March 25th, we are 300 ES points up from that time frame. And if you look at the daily closing candles, yesterday was our first bell close that was below the open, right? The first red candle for the bells. If we turn on the extended session and look at it for the ES, you can see we had one for the session on the 30th, another one on the April 6th, and then that one yesterday. If you look at where we're set to open, right, we're near yesterday's highs is where we're set to open. And I'll get into this more in a second, but we have basically some very poor structure for the ES up here at these highs. And, there's a large void in this distribution. So let's get into that now. So if you look at these are just basic support and resistance lines I have on these charts. Nothing magical about these. But if you look at basically below 4,072 for the ES, there's nothing for over 100 points, 110 points basically. Down below that, it's just a void. Nothing really that's going to catch this thing other than other forms of technical analysis. There's no basic support and resistance in that zone entirely. So we are, over 100 points, from losing, or not 100. We are 70 points up or more from worrying about that at this point in time. So that's not on the table for today. But as we look at, what's going on, we had a little bit of a collapse yesterday. You can see if we would have continued down overnight, right, it would have trapped some bulls above us for the ES, right? And then, we might have been able to get a flush pushing towards those levels to check them. But what happened overnight, right, is just rotation back up, right, leaving these few bears stuck down here. We'll see how that works out for the day. So we beat up the ES. Looking at the Russell, I said I'm really not interested until it gets above 75, 2275, or below 2175. That's still really my thesis for the Russell. We are overextended. We're due for a pullback, so I don't want to get sucked into anything. This is just a consolidation zone, so we've checked the upper end of this consolidation zone. I'm not sure if any sequences are going to hold or anything else going on. Jack had a great trade, right? We have many days of consolidation down here, come back up and, rode that to the top of the range and exited pretty much right at the highs of the day. Excellent trade by him. And normally we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of consolidation. We're breaking above it, right? This should be, by all rights, an explosion that leads up to over 2341, right? That's what should happen. So one of my sayings is, if what should happen does not happen, you can expect the opposite to happen with equal force, right? So if the Russell does not go up here, right, it'll probably be testing, the equal distance down there that it should have went up, which would be around 2132. So keep that in mind. If the Bulls get back, or the Bears take this back below this 2214, there's probably between 40 and 70 points pretty quickly on that trade. Not today, but in a few sessions, and we'll watch for that. So looking at the NASDAQ, I threw a couple of weaker support resistance lines. 13,825, 13,955 are the ones I'm looking at, and you can see that all-time highs up there at 14,029, 14,029. Looking at the Dow, right? The Dow is the most stable, right? And as you look at the difference, I was pointing out for the ES how you've got 110 points of a void. Look how steady each of these are, that there's not too many gaps in the basic support resistance all the way up and down, right? So there's lots of areas to find support on. I could, throw another one in for the Dow right around 33,470. I'm going to leave it off the chart right now up until probably 33,519. I'm not going to be worried about that. Obviously, there's a minor support resistance at 33,580 again until it starts, cracking lower. I'm not going to worry about adding those. But keep in mind that we are extending. There are some analysts, or at least one, that is predicting the ES will hit 4,200 and print it this month. So we're about halfway through. That'd be about another 50 points up. I will be shocked if we print 4,200 before we start testing some of this void, to be honest with you. But we will see. Looking at the ES, and you can see since we've had that low down there on March 25th, right? Coming up here, had some. Each one of these lines are anomalies in the profile, and as we've made those anomalies, right, we've held them and kept going higher. Now, obviously, that trend can end. It won't end until it's over. But overnight action, about 27 ES handles. Looking at all the indexes, right? Overnight low, above the settlement for the Russell, above the settlement for the ES, above the settlement for the Dow, and only less than 10 points under the settlement for the NASDAQ. If you look, we've all, the ES and the Dow have tested above yesterday's high just now in the overnight session with retail sales that just came out, and, curling back down after hitting value area high. So basically, this value block from yesterday, right? These are all, think of it as a price range, right? This is yesterday's range. So we'll have to see if we can pop out of yesterday's range to the upside, right? Or if we just remain in yesterday's range and chop around. There's just this possibility that anything will happen. What I'll be watching is the overnight profiles to give me a little bit of an edge on that. Basically, right at 41.36 half, you can mark that down if you don't get the profile. So that's just going to be underneath the pivot point, or I'm sorry, just below R1, right? That's where you're going to want to watch this node. So you can see all these bars of consolidation above. So you can see getting below those, stopping those out. If it's not short-lived, right, you should get, action down, 10, 15 points to start with, and we'll have to see what conviction either side really has. But keep in mind, it could just be chop within yesterday's range, and the market doesn't really have to do anything but consolidate today. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I will be running the room for Jack today while he's out, and so I will be sharing my analysis as I make it tonight, like I usually do when I cover. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.